Today, I was talking with one of my rising entrepreneur members, and she was specifically talking about parenthood and how she wished that she had more moments when her kids were younger, that she wasn't as frustrated or exhausted because she was working full time and trying to take care of her kids at the same time. She wished that she had more moments of freedom and joy and just happy memories instead of reflecting back on her kid's childhood and simply remembering, yeah, there were some great moments, but there were a lot of moments that were just exhausting. And so this keeps coming back to us wanting more. And here's the shift that I gave her and felt inspired to come and share with you today. It's not about having more. It's about what are we doing with the moments that we have? How present are we? And the example that I gave her is that I kind of had the exact opposite experience that she did when my son was young. Being an entrepreneur, being a wedding photographer, really only working on the weekends where I had to be completely removed from him, being able to adjust my schedule around his schedule created a lot of moments where I could be present with him and do things with him, create those memories, just spend time with him, teach him. Heck, I got a lot of learning out of those experiences too. So it wasn't just about me teaching. But at the end of the day, with all of these really happy moments, I can't sit here and reflect and remember all of them. In fact, the majority of these moments, I don't even remember until Facebook pops up a memory or I scroll on my phone and I happen to see a memory from that day. It takes something to actually trigger it for me. Now, the moments that I don't need to have triggered are the moments where I was 1,000% present in that moment. Like literally blocked out everything else except for what was happening in that present moment, where I was so tuned in that the world just went quiet around me. These are the moments that I can pull up at any one point in time. And as far as many as these that I have, which maybe a half a dozen that are really, really prominent, there's one, just one that I continuously come back to. And that's when my son was like 3 or 4 months old. And the reason why is because of not only being fully present in that moment, but what I was telling myself in that present moment. I told myself that I was a good mom. I told myself how much I loved him. It's because of what I did inside that moment that makes it such a prominent, strong memory. And for as wonderful as all of those other memories are, this is the one moment that I really want to ever remember for the rest of my life. So that every time that I feel like I'm not enough, or I feel like I'm not being a good parent, because trust me, he's a teenager now, so that moment happens a lot. I can rely and go back on this one moment in time when he was 3 or 4 months old and remember how good of a mom that I am because of how much I love him. So, my shift for you today, for this week, is to not focus on wishing and wanting more of anything, but really reflecting on what am I doing when I'm in these moments, when I do have this thing that I so desperately want more of. What am I doing with what I have right now? What memory am I creating right now? The past is the past. You can't change it. You can't go back and do anything about it. There is no point, there is no benefit to actually living back there and saying, I wish that I had done more, when you have the opportunity to change your approach right here, right now, to make that shift. Even if it's just watching your kid ride their bike, or preparing a meal for them and having them come running out because they're excited to eat your food, or having them fall asleep on your shoulder while you read them a story in bed. It doesn't have to be a big, extravagant moment. Sometimes the most powerful moments are in those little in-betweens, those everyday things. But if we're not present, if we don't pause long enough, if we don't pull ourselves out of our past or out of our future enough to be present right here in the moment, then we're not going to change the experience that we have going forward. So try this and see what shifts for you. Hi, I'm Kimberly Romano, Indian wedding photographer turned brand photographer and human design reader. Thank you for tuning into Shifted, the podcast that is here to spark a shift in you that creates big change in your energy, perspective, and direction. And if this episode sparked a shift in you, then subscribe and leave a review sharing what your shift was. Not only will this help others discover this podcast, but your shift can inspire them to have a shift of their own. Please remember, the content you hear in this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as legal, health, or financial advice. For professional guidance, I encourage you to seek out a trusted expert near you. Thank you again for tuning into Shifted. Until next time, keep leaning into the shift.